Welcome back to the Other Side Lifestyle Podcast with Jim and Aram. If you didn't know, we've been saying that since episode 1. So the first time we said it, it wasn't welcome back. But if you didn't listen to the first episode and you go back and listen to the first episode, you will be welcomed back, even back then. Today, we have a man who is named after Patrick Swayze and Don Johnson. We have Patrick Johnson Street, otherwise known as PJ Striet. PJ, did anybody ever say your name wrong on purpose as a kid?
Oh, sure, yeah.
What kind of things would they? How would they say it wrong? Can you give an example?
Striet, got PJ Striet. I still get that all the time.
Did they ever say your first name
butter
wrong?
And jelly. I mean, I heard that so many fucking times growing up.
What about the fact that he already is? You know that game where they're like, if you want to know your porn star name, just pick your name and your street name. So he's already basically living like that every day.
Exactly.
He has his porn star name.
I think I have a pretty decent porn name. I do.
Yeah, that's a great.
Oh, absolutely. PJ Striet.
Not as good as Brock Purdy, though.
Brock Purdy.
That's pretty good. The quarterback for the Niners.
Quarterback for the 49ers.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There was also Blake. Remember Blake Bortles? He was a backup quarterback.
Bortles was a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
I just still, when I hear PJ Striet, I'm picturing him co-starring next to Mark Wahlberg in Boogie Nights.
Yes.
What was his name again? What was Mark Wahlberg's name?
Dirk Diggler.
Dirk Diggler. PJ Striet.
I'm picturing PJ more in the lineup of Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne Johnson in Pain and Gain.
I want to be Scotty in Boogie Nights.
Oh, good. John C. Reilly.
You like my car? Sexy.
I like, what's his name? The dude from Fargo, whose wife was banging the other guy that he walked in.
That guy's great.
Shot her and walked out. Just walked into the park.
Yeah,
my wife's out in the driveway with an ass in her cock.
Shameless. It's the guy from Shameless.
Yeah, what's his name?
What's his name again?
Great.
Oh, I can't remember his name.
I wanted to say Harvey Keitel, but it's not.
No.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Comes
up. We talked about him before, Rob.
William H. Macy.
William H. Macy.
Yes.
And he's like a strong, pretty jacked dude. I watched that. I brought this up to you, Aram, before I think.
Yeah, you told me that he was
climbing the rope.
Climber. Yeah.
He was like climbing a rope in like a CrossFit gym with no legs.
And I wasn't impressed. And you were like, well, the guy's like 90. And I'm like, I don't care. I hope he falls.
Well, he's not impressed with your ability to stay injury-free 7 minutes into a football game. So I guess we all have different things we're not impressed with.
That's fine. I'm walking now, so he can suck on me if he wants.
I'm trying.
Let's. I was really curious because after yesterday I had to change my top 5 Christmas movies list. So I'll give you my original Christmas movies list, and we'll see if any of us are in alignment. So I don't have them in any order, but just in the top 5 is The Ref, Christmas Vacation, Scrooged, The Grinch with Jim Carrey, Die Hard, and then I also had, I just forgot the other one. Whatever. Well, let's go with those for the top 5. Anybody in alignment with those?
I forgot about The Ref, man. That was
I've
great.
Never seen
Dennis Leary.
What? You've never seen? You have today. Your homework today.
I'm off for the rest of the day. I might.
It's fucking incredible. It's Dennis Leary as a cat burglar in Connecticut who gets stuck with Kevin Spacey and Annette Bening as a fighting husband and wife who hate each other, and then he has to pretend to be part of their family for Christmas dinner.
All right, I'll give that a shot tonight then.
It's probably one of the most cynical black comedy, like just fucked up, but it's awesome. Oh, Violent Night was the other one. That was the one I wanted to put up there. Violent Night is great. Die Hard for me. It did. I'm sorry.
Replace Die Hard, or would that be your 5th?
It pushed Die Hard out of the 5.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen that either.
So Scrooged was below 5 because I hadn't seen it in years, and I watched it yesterday. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. So that pushed it back into the 5 for me and popped Die Hard out.
Jim,
yeah, I'm going to have to include The Ref now that you said that. That is so good. Christmas Vacation, I have to go with. I don't know, top 5. Scrooge is good, but I haven't seen that in forever for me to include it.
I think it'll re-spark your liking for it. Because I forgot how good it really was.
It's definitely good. I just haven't seen it in so long to want to include it. I like including Die Hard just because it's this controversial, is this a Christmas movie or not?
It is.
I was thinking about that the other day, like, then what makes a Christmas movie?
I was
If
thinking
that's
about that
not,
too.
what makes it? Does it take place at Christmas? Yes.
I think it has to be in the Christmas season. It has to reference Christmas as being the holiday that's currently going on. And there has to be some type of like either reference to Christmas, like when John McClane said ho ho ho, that was it. Like that made it a Christmas movie. If
Well,
you
it's
didn't
a Christmas
say that,
party.
yeah.
Look, the very first song in the movie is "Christmas in Hollis" from Run DMC.
Oh,
So
that's true too. Yeah. Now, the question I have is, did that movie come out on Christmas back when it came out?
We
feel
all
like
have internet.
I'll tell you, it did because I watched the trailer at some point on YouTube, and it opened up with coming this Christmas season. And so
What
yeah,
day did Die Hard come out? July 22nd, 1988.
That counts.
Well,
That counts.
Christmas in July.
Yeah.
I have to include Christmas Story in the list.
That's the one with the kid licks the pole.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then where he just beats the piss out of the bully,
Scott Farkas.
just repetitively. My son's like, that's why I love. That's his favorite one. I'm like, how is that your favorite one? It's like the oldest one,
Yep.
and that's his favorite one, which is shocking to me. I was asking him the other day, and he said mainly because of that scene. But I don't turn it off instantly when it comes on, so I'm going to have to include that. Outside of that, Four Christmases.
Oh, was that with
I got
Vince
turned
Vaughn?
on to that. I got turned on to that. I like that.
Vince Vaughn and
Vince
Reese
Vaughn's
Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon. Yeah.
Great one. Great movie. That if I'm scrolling TV and that's on, I'm not turning it off.
That's with what's his name as the dad.
I can picture him.
Yeah, what's that guy's name?
I can picture him, but Fonda. What's the last?
No,
it's
no. Richard.
not fun.
I wanted to say Richard Dreyfuss, but it's not.
It's not Richard Dreyfuss. It's a last name that other celebrities have that last name. I feel like.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up because he was in
Again,
the
why
Judge.
are we wasting time? We
was in The
need
Judge.
a Jamie
Robert
on this
Duvall.
episode. Robert Duvall. Duvall. Yeah. Some name that other people have. Shelley
Yeah.
Duvall.
PJ, what's one of your five?
Yeah,
So
PJ.
I got to go Four Christmases for sure. Die Hard. Die Hard's going to be my number one. Four Christmases. Christmas Vacation. I know every word of the movie. We watched it yesterday at my brother's. Everybody was annoyed as shit for me.
Bend over and I'll show you.
Right.
You don't talk to my wife like that. I wasn't talking to
Talking
her.
to you.
I don't know, Margot.
I don't know.
Why is the floor all wet?
All wet, Todd?
Die Hard, Four Christmases, Christmas Vacation. I like Scrooge, Aram. And then, have you guys ever seen Silent Night, Deadly Night?
No.
You have to. It's like an 80s Christmas horror movie where Santa Claus just massacres everybody on Christmas Eve.
You'll like
Silent.
Violent Night then?
Okay, that's why I figured
But-
I probably wouldn't.
But it's
Violent
like
Night's got more heart. Violent
it
Night's got
does.
a little heart.
like it's not Santa's not a bad guy. He's
No,
like, why am I
Santa's-
here? And he
yeah.
just gets stuck in this situation where he just
But
kicks
the
ass.
backstory to why he was a badass was so cool.
Oh yeah, I
Right,
forgot about he's got all
remember?
the scars and everything. He was like a warrior.
The backstory to why Santa became Santa was awesome.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
I
so
love
in
shit
the-
like that.
Before New Year's, I got to watch The Ref and Violent Night.
And
Yes.
then we have to watch Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yes, you
Yeah.
do.
Is that like super campy 80s where like
Oh,
just-
absolutely.
Yeah, nice. Love that. That's awesome.
Off tangent, but you know another good holiday horror movie. You ever seen Night of the Lepus? For
No.
Easter, the killer Easter bunny. It's awesome. It's
No.
awesome.
Night of the Lepus. So everybody's fat now.
So what's happening? Yeah, we got 10 minutes of nonsense. I like it.
Everybody's so fat. Everybody has eaten themselves to 300 and 400 BMI.
There's no way
Most-
to reverse the damage
Most
that was
people are
done.
probably going to die by New Year's Eve, if not sooner, and that'll be it. So the obesity epidemic will end this week because most of the obese people will die. Because we know that
I
fat
had,
basically
I had 4
kills you.
flexed abs last week, and today I have 1 in the right
That's
leg.
it, just one. It's just
I
one
like-
large ab.
No, I do like the right leg.
I spent for about 45 to 50 minutes yesterday shaving my entire body in preparation for the new year because I want to go into it slick.
Right.
You want to go into it slick?
Yeah, just hairless except for my face and my head.
Oh, I didn't know if you meant like thick, and then that would be like
slick.
day one of
just
cutting.
Like, so I could like feel like, like when Jim Carrey's falling out of the butthole in Ace Ventura 2. I want to be able to fall out of that thing but not get stuck. Because I don't want any of the hairs jamming
Speaking
up.
of that, Aram, I took a one attachment to my legs and ass.
Oh.
Last week. I do that about every 4 months because I'm a hairy motherfucker. Like,
so one attachment gives you, how much does that give you?
A little bit.
Like an eighth of an inch.
You're on the camera. Show us. Show us
It's
your
enough
legs.
to annoy me as we cuddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to see. Let's see the legs.
So,
Oh, okay. All right. So very not discernible hair content.
right. Because I used to go just no guard, and I like cut bad areas so many times doing that.
Am I the only one that doesn't shave my body down? I do a level 2 on my chest because it's full and thick, but I don't want it to look like it's shaved. I want it shaved down. I like my chest hair.
But you have a chest tattoo, so you can't really see the hair anyway, right?
You can see it.
Yeah, you can.
It's a little bit trimmed down now, but you see.
Yeah,
I got the white hairs all coming in now.
That's so hot though.
I love it.
Yeah, that makes you look like a George Clooney type of a body,
right?
Like just really distinguished.
Yeah. That's what I'm going for. You know,
like if you were doing a photo shoot, you'd be like everybody's daddy.
Oh yeah.
Are you telling me I need to slim down for a photo shoot in March? I might not just do it with you.
I start the 8-week cut
for Vegas
tomorrow. Yes, to be sexy for everybody and you guys in Vegas.
Wait, you don't have to start tomorrow.
I really don't.
You got time.
I would do like a 4-week cut.
We can talk about what maintenance of results is. It's always, in my opinion, it's always staying like no more than 6 weeks of hard dieting away from your best look.
So
PJ,
I think
who are you? Who are you, PJ? Nobody even knows who you are right now. We didn't give him a chance to tell us about PJ.
You know what occurred to me? What occurred to me before I came on? You guys had on Alan Aragon and then Jay Ferrugia back to back.
And Mike Israetel is next.
Great. So yeah, now you got my schlep ass falling.
There'll be a gap. We are scheduled out to like the end of January, so there'll be a gap.
It's literally like a comedian following up like Richard Pryor and then Dave Chappelle. And then...
PJ's got 5 minutes on the mic night.
Right, exactly. At the Apollo, I'm getting shit thrown at me.
What does PJ have to say about dieting and exercise? Does anybody care after?
Nobody fucking cares. We had 3 legends on.
Right.
They're but those guys are, listen, at the end of the day, and they will tell you themselves, they are not in the trenches the way that we are, right? They're high-level researchers. They're celebrities at this point. They have done the work for sure. But as far as being in the practice of being able to help people on a daily basis, dealing with people's shit on a daily basis, hearing the plights of your average everyday gen popper, that's what PJ's really, really good at. He also, which I found out at Silverback, has a radio spot on a weekly basis. So he's speaking to one of the largest crowds in the Midwest, which is probably the fattest part of our country. So good job, PJ.
So it's not working. Great.
Clearly his message does not resonate. So talk to us about what's your experience. I know you can dunk, which is cool. The story that you had about dunking on, who was that? Who'd you beat the dunk contest? You beat in the dunk contest?
So I went to Miami University, and you guys know who Wally. Yeah,
not Miami in Florida.
Correct. Yeah, I would not be alive if I went to Miami, Florida.
Ben Roethlisberger went there, did he not?
Correct. Yes, and Sean McVay, the coach of the Rams, went there too.
So
Wally Zerviak he played in the NBA for like probably 12 or 15 years, and he played for Miami when I was there, and we all hung out together. And on our Midnight Madness, my buddy, who's now a client of mine, he played for Miami too, and we go to Midnight Madness, and I'm in a fucking Slayer t-shirt. I'm about 245 pounds at the time. I got Doc Martens on, and I'm just hanging out at Midnight Madness. I mean, the entire student body's there. And my buddy Mike, who's the center on the team, he's like, "Hey, look," he goes, "we need somebody to do the student dunk contest against all of us. And I'm like, Mike, I'm in fucking Doc Martens. I was probably half drunk too. And he pulls me out, and I end up in this student dunk contest, and I advanced to the finals against Wally Zerviak. And I think I pulled off a 360 off a bounce.
Jesus Christ.
And so that's my claim to fame. Yeah.
Is there footage of this?
Probably not. No, this is 1999, probably.
There's got to be somebody who probably had a phone.
It's on a VHS somewhere.
Yeah. It's on somebody's iPod shuffle.
Yeah. It's like, if anybody tells you that there's like not a huge genetic component to like whether it's aesthetics or athletics. I mean, I could dunk a basketball when I was 12.
That's insane to me. I just don't even understand. I would have been the fattest person on the planet if I could dunk at 12. I would have done nothing physical after that ever again.
Yeah, I was
PJ
6'3" when I was 12, and I went through early puberty. I had a size like 13 shoe, and it wasn't like I was lifting or anything back then. I could just freaking jump. It's just like, you watch kids. Jimmy, you've probably seen this all the time because I know you're a teacher. You see kids at age 10 or 11 that some kids are just frigging faster than other kids.
Yeah.
And there's no rhyme.
I'm not allowed around elementary schools.
Yes.
Yeah. PJ, do you remember those shoes that were to help people jump higher?
Shoes.
Yeah, with that big platform on the ball
I
of the
had the number of sprained ankles I had from those things. So, true story. My buddy and I, Mike, we both had them, and he had like off his back patio. He had like 4-tier concrete steps. We'd be doing plyos and strength shoes on like these, a step like that wide, and like turning our ankles over. And we're like clogging around the freaking neighborhood in these things, and like strength shoes are freaking awesome. They did absolutely nothing, but
just put you into plantar flexion and dorsiflexion.
Correct.
All day long.
Yeah.
So you could the same thing that
Just put you in
strippers
the
do.
plantar flexion and dorsiflexion.
It's basically what any stripper with 6-inch heels does.
correct.
the opposite.
Exactly the same thing. You're just doing a heel raise, calf raise all day long while walking.
Men wear front heels, ladies wear back heels.
That's it. Yeah.
Aram, is your dog being murdered right now?
No, she's chewing on my pit bull.
Oh, nice. It's beautiful. It's not distracting at all. So PJ, tell us about you. How long you been doing fitness? What did you go to school for? Did you get right into this? Did you do something before training? Tell us.
Yeah, I've been in the industry independently for 26 years. I got bit by the strength conditioning bug in high school. I told this story on other podcasts. I think my high school was probably one of the only high schools in the country at the time. This is probably 1995, 6, that had like an organized strength conditioning program. We had a strength coach.
So, was that during the school day?
What do you mean?
Well, like, was that where students could pick this as a class instead of maybe traditional phys ed, or was this?
No, but I know you do that. You do a weight room.
We do that as a unit, but our school, they're talking about starting something like this where phys ed, you could pick, athletes could be in this phys ed where it's a strength training program. They're building a whole new weight room that'll have the trainer in there right next to the football field. And
I think
it's
that's awesome.
a possibility if the school supports it. Our new superintendent is very much so into fitness and stuff. This could be something that I'm then teaching, where I'm just on my own in the weight room developing strength programs for the athletes,
cool.
which
That's
would be
very
awesome. So I have to step up, find out really what they want to do. So is that what your school did, or no? This was all after school.
No, now we did have, as athletes, we did have the option to do our program during phys ed if we wanted to.
Okay, so similar idea, but okay.
Yeah, but we actually had our phys ed teacher. He was the full-time strength and conditioning coach.
That's awesome.
Outside of school for all the varsity sports.
Nice.
So yeah, he was an assistant at Ohio State before he went into teaching.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and we had, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Hammer Strength was started in Cincinnati, and their showroom was here.
No shit.
So
why is every fitness company in Ohio Rogue?
Elite
All they
FTS.
could do, all they could do there is lift, drink, and fight.
Exactly.
So
There's not much else to do. That's correct, Jimmy.
Yeah,
All right.
not a lot of money in organized underground fight rigs.
No.
So you might as well make strength equipment.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, listen.
Yeah,
I think
that's where I
this
got.
guy's qualified.
Yeah, I mean, it was so, I was taught to train the right way early on. And, I played basketball, obviously, my whole life. And as I got involved in the organized strength training program, by the time I graduated high school, I liked training for the sports more than I liked the sports themselves. I started at 18. I started hanging out at strength and conditioning clinics, volunteering for hammer strength. And I just got fully immersed in it. Went to Miami of Ohio, exercise physiology, interned in their strength conditioning department. After undergrad, I interned at Notre Dame for a semester with all of their sports. That was awesome. So my track was to become a strength coach. That's what I thought I wanted to do. But late in college, and then right out of college, I was already training Gen Pop people. And after the Notre Dame experience, I think I saw the reality. Now, at the time, had I known that strength coaches at the collegiate and pro level were going to make $2 million a year, I would have stuck it out. But back then, you had to pay your dues for a decade, and you were, and I just went another direction and wanted to do personal training. So
it's all about the money, what you're saying.
Correct.
Yeah.
I have a question because I got into weightlifting young. I was a personal trainer junior, senior year of college, learned how to lift. So when you had referenced, I learned how to lift the right way when you were in high school. At the time, I was learning how to lift right. Things have changed with certain technique on certain lifts. Can you think of anything where it is different now, where you're like, all right, maybe if I was running a high school training program, I would do something different than what you learned? Or was it just really good training that you learned?
A lot of the same principles
Nice.
that still forms the foundation of my training now.
That's awesome.
My strength coach was really smart because he would get you to buy in by letting you do 5 sets of bench press and let you do as many curls as you wanted at the end of the workout. But everything in between, it was all high intensity,
awesome.
Old school hit. We do 1 or 2 sets to failure. Everything's logbook. Progressive overload. You had to logbook everything on your sheet. So yeah, he knew if he knew if he could get let 16-year-old kids bench press and do curls, we were going to buy into it. So
So give you what you need and then give you what you want.
That's
Correct.
like Zach Evanesh talks about that. If you know him, he's Jersey. He was like the strength conditioning coach for Rutgers Wrestling. Awesome guy. And he talks about that at the end of his workouts. Go ahead, go run the rack with your bicep curls. I know you guys all just want to leave with a pump and get that burn and feel like your arms got bigger. So the exact same philosophy, which is great.
Well, it's no different with our clients who like the feeling of like the cardio sweat and the cardio discomfort, and that's what they're chasing. I think your average gym meathead or dude, or even some women now, are chasing a pump, whether it's a glute pump or a shoulder pump. And I think that's great. Like, if you want to go in on a 6th day or a 5th day of training and just play around with some beach muscles and accessories, like that to me is when you've graduated to a place where you enjoy being in that facility and you just like what it does for you. And at that point, those folks are just so much more apt for getting results versus the people that are dreading going in, or they need somebody to tell them what to do because they have no clue what they're doing.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, in terms of, I've worked in every conceivable situation as a trainer. I had my own facilities for a long time. I was an independent contractor at other people's facilities. I had independent contractors working for me. I was in business with another guy. I've done online coaching as an independent contractor working for another company. I've now obviously been doing it myself for a long time. And now I'm also doing the hybrid model where I'm doing in person again along with online. So I pretty much run the gamut of every type of experience in the coaching and training world.
That's awesome. Who would you say is like the average person you're working with online?
My split, I got about 70 clients online. My split, I would say, is roughly 70-30 female to male. And all, just everyday Joe and Jane's 35 to 65, well, much like you guys.
Yeah. Nice.
So that's
What are the collective or common issues that you're seeing when you're first signing people up? Like what are they lacking as far as knowledge? Where are the issues that they've run into that have gotten them to this point to seek help?
Yeah, one is obviously just foundational knowledge, and obviously accountability and consistency, which is why somebody comes to people like us. So, my whole program is just that. It's let's get you educated, let's start building habits, and as you build, in the process of building those habits, you're going to start to develop skills, and then as you start honing those skills for a long enough period of time, you then create a fitness-oriented identity. That's basically my entire coaching program.
So basically, we just end the episode right there. That's exactly.
Thanks a lot.
Literally, what anybody fucking needs, right there.
Yeah, and I think the big thing there that you just said is that identity.
Yeah.
I think I was thinking about it today, people really need to write down what their actual values are and develop the identity, the lifestyle that matches those values. I think people like to say that health and fitness is a value, or they want it to be a value. Is it really a value? And then you develop this lifestyle around that. If you start to ask yourself, is this decision in line with my values when it comes to especially health, fitness, since that's what we're talking about?
Where do you think nutrition and fitness need to fall in your top priorities on a daily basis for them to become solidified as part of who you are? Like for me, I know that like thinking about what I'm going to be eating and thinking about my training is just as prevalent as me thinking about who I have to get back to and who I have to help as far as work is concerned that day. And like everything else is way down the line.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's family, work, and fitness and nutrition, and it's probably in that order of priority. So and the fitness and nutrition serve as that anchor for me, and as a force multiplier for me, and that's what I try to impart on my clients. Like, look, this stuff, the way you eat, the way you train, can be a massive force multiplier to where you're a better husband, you're a better father, you're a better spouse, you're a better business owner. You're a more productive, highly performing individual, and that's what I really try to get my clients to buy into.
It really is. It really is. Wow, people don't know how good they feel until they know what feeling good feels like, and it's such an important thing for people to really wrap their heads around. Give it that time to really see the fruit of the labor in terms of how it affects and bleeds into every area in your life.
And guys, I think what people need to understand is, and most people do not get this, fit living is a skill, and it requires a certain skill set. Okay, and you don't build that in a 75-day challenge. This is a timely topic given the time of year. You don't build that doing 75 hard or keto January or whole 30 or whatever it is. This takes months, if not years, to build those habits, to develop those skills, to create that identity, right? So I got bashed online pretty hard because I did a post on 75 hard. And look, I don't have much issue with some of the things in 75 hard. I mean, if you look at it, pretty good stuff. I mean, I think we all agree that, some of that's... But my issue is this. I don't see the point in doing 75 hard to then do 290 shitty. Right. And I think this is where a lot of people are at with this stuff. So if you look at like the way most 85-90% of people go about their year with fitness, nutrition, exercise, 80% of it is a tire fire. All right. It's seafood, eat food, eat whatever you want. There's no tracking. There's no structure. There's no organization. There's eating out all the time. There's boozing. They might sprinkle in a periodic workout here and there. Well, eventually they look in the mirror one day or they get out of bed and they're like, I'm disgusted with myself. I feel like shit. I look like shit. And I'm going to do something about it. Well, then, so they spent 80% of the year doing that, right? So then in little pockets, 20% of the year, they do 1 or 2 week goofy ass diet or exercise programs before reverting back to the shitty habits, right? What I try to do in my program, and I know you guys do the same thing, let's flip that whole thing on its head. Let's do the right shit 80% of the time so then you can enjoy the other 20% guilt-free. I mean, I sat down and mapped out, it's on my computer, I went through the entire year, and I came up with any special occasion you could think of involving overindulgence of food or alcohol. And it came out to be about 80 days, and I accounted for everything. 2 weeks of vacation, birthdays, anniversaries, spouses and kids' birthdays, the Super Bowl, Valentine's Day. I literally went through each calendar month, and it came out to be about 80 days, right? Ironically, that's about 20% of the year. So that's really that's the fitness lifestyle. You pay the price and you accept the opportunity cost so you can enjoy stuff guilt-free. Do you think I gave a shit what I ate or consumed the last 3 days? No.
You think I'm going to give a shit? It's so irrelevant to you.
Because I know I'm coming back to a foundational way of living.
What would you say?
Hold on, Jimmy. Let me ask you because you keep interrupting me, and I hate it. I want to go back to what he said about family being the first priority. Everybody, I think almost everybody who we ever will talk to will tell you that family is their first priority. I'm going to call bullshit on that because if family was your first priority, your cupboards would look different. The way that you lived your life at night would look different. The way that you showed up for your family would look different. So the way that PJ prioritizes his family versus the way that one of our clients may or one of our prospects may prioritize their family is different. PJ, how are you able to balance? Because I know that you now, between having children in your life and all this other stuff, businesses, your own family, you're able to keep those things as a focus, but you're also still able to go to the gym. You're still also prepping your food. How are you able to manage that, and how do you instill that upon your clients?
I couldn't have a successful business or be a father figure to 2 boys and show up for my girlfriend if fitness and nutrition wasn't an anchor in my life. I wouldn't be able to do it. And I don't know how people who don't train hard and eat well, how they get through their damn day. With all the competing demands and all the stress that we have in our life, how can you go through that day-to-day existence feeling and looking like crap? I don't know how people do it, but that's exactly what most people do.
Adderall and alcohol.
There you go. And that's true, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, antidepressants.
Antidepressants our eyes, yeah. So, and going back to this whole premise of the 80-20, that's like the name of your podcast is The Other Side Lifestyle. This is what I'm talking about. If you put in the work and it's unbalanced for a while, you can get to a point to where I can go on a vacation twice a year for a week and eat and drink or whatever else like shit. It just doesn't matter because I know 290-ish days a year, I'm tracking my nutrition intake. I'm weighing and measuring my food. If I go out to eat, it's going to be at a chain restaurant where I can at least get a pulse on the calorie consumption. I'm going to lift till my eyeballs pop out 3 to 5 times per week. I'm going to average 70,000 steps a week. So this 20% window of time spread out throughout the year, it just doesn't matter. Yeah. But most people are spending 80% of the year treating themselves like garbage.
Yeah, and the funny thing is once you are treating yourself well in your regular life on a regular basis, when you do go on vacation, it's tough to do 7 days of debauchery.
It is.
It's hard. I mean, I just can't do it.
And the aftermath of it, you remember why you live the way that you do. And
you don't even enjoy, at least most of the people that I know, you don't even enjoy that week if you're eating like shit and drinking tons of alcohol the whole week. Mm-hmm. What you enjoy about your regular life is the energy you have, the activities that you can do, and all of that. So now you're going to, how great is that vacation when it's just a disaster area? Like I tend to make, we talked about this when we were in Austin. I tend to make better food decisions now, I'm 45 years old next month, now after 20 plus years of being an adult not doing that, because it's not fun for me to go out and get some giant burger and fries and a couple of heavy beers and then be like, all right, I got to go find a toilet. I just don't feel great.
I can't wait to be in a fat loss phase. Like I cannot wait because after a few days over Christmas of just eating I'm like,
it just takes a few.
I am highly motivated to do this 8-week cut. Like I'm really looking forward to it. But I made a post about this probably a month ago. I said, look, if 70 to 80 days of frigging all-out indulgence isn't enough fun for you, and you see that as deprivation and restriction, you got some real fucking problems beyond a high body mass index.
What you said it was 8. You said it was 80. You did the math. It was 80 per year.
I did the math. I'll send you.
That's almost 7 days per month.
No shit. And people say that's restrictive.
That's fucking incredible. That would be like me going out twice a week, every week for the month. If that wasn't enough for you, then you got to fucking restructure what.
But that's where people though who aren't operating on an above average level are just used to that feeling. So they don't know what it feels like. So for somebody who's going to reach out to you potentially this time of year, and they're saying, I realize now I need the accountability, and I need to cut all this shit out of my life. I'm thinking about doing Whole30, but I want to have guidance with it. I want to start January 1st. What are you saying to them?
It should be called Whole 365. That's what it should be called.
I'm just giving that as an example because I've heard a couple of people reference it. I mean, 75 Hard seems to be slowly fading away, and I completely agree with everything you said about it.
Let me ask you. I don't know anything about. I know what it is, but I don't know how it's structured. Was that started off as a pay-for challenge, and then it became free, or has it always been free?
It's that. What's his name? Andy Frisella.
It was always just a free thing. He just put that out there.
Yeah. So if I just did a radio segment on this, I think it is. You have to follow a structured diet. He doesn't provide a diet. You just have to follow any structured diet.
So you could do macro counting, and you could still have cake. You could still have stuff. You track your macros. It could be any diet you want.
It's like a gallon of water a day. 10 pages of a book a day. You got to do 2 workfourouts a day. One of them has to be
45 minutes.
Outside.
One inside, one outside. Yep.
I think there's a sleep component to it as well. So foundationally, good stuff. But again, if you're not going in to the new year or any other time with the mindset that I am permanently shifting my habits, my lifestyle, and I want to learn how to do this permanently, I want to change my identity. If you have any other line of thinking than that, it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to do these challenges, great, but my problem is it's a lot. People think that it's so hardcore to do these things. I'll tell you what's hardcore and a lot harder than that is being like a solid B to B plus 80% of the year. That's harder than being an A plus 20% of the time.
Absolutely.
So what are you saying to that person who's maybe wanting to onboard with you for the accountability? They're setting what you believe from your conversation to be pretty lofty goals. I want to cut out all alcohol. I want to get rid of processed food. I want to get to the gym 6, if not 7 days of the week, and I want you to guide me through that.
Yeah, I think I try to drill into them, look, this doesn't have to be diet prison, and you would no way have to be perfect. But I'm going to give you objective benchmarks for compliance in these 6 areas, right? And that's really, it's giving, and first of all, I have an anti-sales pitch when somebody contacts me.
Same.
I really do. I have an auto response email that goes out to any prospect. I say, hey, look, before we schedule a call, I want you to know what you're getting involved with. I want you to know what is going to be required of you. I want to make sure that you think I'm going to be a fit for you. And I list out, this is what's going to be expected at this level of compliance in all of these areas. You are going to have to track your food. You're going to have to use a nutrition tracking app. You're going to have to check in on my app surrounding all these habits every day. You're going to have to weigh in every day. And you're going to have to submit your check-ins. So if all that sounds good to you, and by the way, here's what it cost, let's go ahead and schedule a call. So I don't want fuck-arounds. I just don't. I want the right people. And most people that seek me out, they know what I'm about and what they're getting into. Now, I do have a fair percentage of people that say, yeah, that's too much for me.
Yeah.
But
good.
You have to,
find less than.
Right. I don't offer anything less than 6 months because you can't make this identity shift and totally change your habit structure if you've walked 50 miles into the woods for decades doing all the wrong shit. It's going to take a long time to get back out of the woods. There isn't a fitness Uber coming for you that's going to drive you to your desired destination in 10 minutes. And this is what people want. So I make sure that my clients are going to be a good fit for me, honestly.
Well, because people don't understand the amount of energy that like good coaches like us will soak into this type of a situation. Like I had a call. I had 3 people go onto my website and fill out my questionnaire over the last 24 hours because everybody's seeing the messaging. They're waking up on Tuesday morning feeling like shit. They're all fucking. It's like anything else, right? You go to a conference, you hear fucking Tony Jerkoff Robbins talk about something, and you're all fired up and motivated. And then by Tuesday, when your cat pisses on the floor and your kid throws up in your lap, you're no longer motivated. Everybody's motivation is going to fade after these next 24 hours that they're back at work or they're not on vacation. And it's our job to continually remind them that this is going to be a forever pursuit. There's no end date to this. It's not like you start now. You may not work with a coach forever, but at least if you do hire a coach, understand that you're hiring a coach not to just get you through the motions, but to actually help you learn what the fuck you're doing so that you can build some autonomy at some point in your life and
That's
not
exactly
have to rely
right.
on anybody. Like, I mean, all of us, I think, have. Do you have a coach, PJ, or no?
Do what?
Do you personally have a coach or no?
I have in the past. I don't currently.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, even all of us, like, I know, Jim's got a coach. I have a coach. PJ's had one and may have one again in the future.
I hired Paul Carter like 3 years ago to take me.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
incredible.
So like we all believe in
That
it.
was it. That was interesting. He said.
Yeah.
He said that was interesting. Should we ask?
Paul's a great dude. He. I mean, I was fucking shredded. I mean,
I'm sure. Yeah.
It was just for the accountability. It was literally, I knew exactly what he was going to have me do because I know his philosophy. It's the same as my philosophy. It's literally just to have another set of eyes on you. Yeah. And you have skin in the game and you're answering to somebody. And I'm like, you know what? If I fuck this up and don't do this, like this guy's going to think I'm a fucking schmuck. So I'm going to do it. You know?
More pressure on you because you're expected to know what you're doing versus our clients who are coming in typically from a group fitness background, if any fitness background at all. And I want to talk about that for a second because I think that the 2 phone calls I've had already, the third one's coming up after this, both people have a group fitness background. And they immediately asked me, can I and should I keep doing the classes that I'm doing? What would you say to them if that was their question?
I have a lot of the same people, Aram, who are used to burn body boot camp and F45. And look, if you want to go do that once a week, I don't care because enjoyment is a big, it's a big factor in all this. So again, you will be expected to do things the way that I want them done. But if you want to do one of these classes once a week, that's fine. And I have to, like, I have clients on Instagram posting workouts that I did not write for them. And if I see that too frequently, it's like I'm in their ear. I'm like, look, if you want to do your own shit, that's because honestly, the nutrition is going to be the big driver of your goals anyways. But just understand, if you want to do your own shit, do your own shit. But I can't guarantee the best results if that's what you want to do. If you want to go to F45 with your friends once a week, that's fine. Count that as take one of your zone 2 cardios off the schedule then that I put in there for you and just go ahead and do it. I don't care, so it's in terms, here's the 90-day challenge that I'm actually going to present on Instagram. And this is basically my entire coaching program. I want to hear what you guys think. I'm going to do this whole 90 for 90 thing. It's free. I'm obviously not charging for it. It's more just to get people going in the new year. And I'll bring it up for you and read it to you. This ought to be.
We're getting a sneak peek, folks. Mm-hmm. We should drop. He's doing this so he can get the episode out before Israel.
All right, we'll drop it tomorrow. Midweek episode. I'll work extra hard tonight.
So tell me if you guys agree. So I have 8 different areas of focus. So it's 90% compliance for 90 days. And I would argue this is all getting in great shape is. Nothing more, nothing less. So from January 2nd to April 1st, nutrition, 81 days, you got to track your nutrition, quantitative food scales, nutrition tracking apps, body weight times 10 calories, all right? At-home meals, eating out. At least 81 days preparing and quantifying all your meals at home. No more than 9 meals out at a restaurant between now and April 1st. Pre-tracking, pre-logging your meals. At least 81 days where you log your meals the night before for the next day. Sleep, 81 days of getting 7 hours of sleep. Strength training, 3 structured, consistent workouts a week, no more than 4 missed workouts between now and April 1st, 81 days getting at least 10,000 steps a day, 3 30-minute zone 2 cardios a week, no more than 4 missed cardio sessions before April 1st, and no more than 12 drinks between January 2nd and April 1st. That's all what getting in shape is, in my opinion.
I don't think that's unreasonable at all. I mean, the only thing I would probably maybe even argue would be the 10 calories per pound thing. For somebody who's much, much heavier, I would probably go a little bit lower than that.
8. But I'm putting this out for the masses.
But that's about it.
But literally, that is all getting in great shape is. And the only difference is how many people are actually going to do all that on their own. They're not. You're going to need exactly 5. Exactly. So again, this is where the accountability is so vitally important. You have to. Very few people are going to be able to do this on their own. We don't have an information problem. We have an application and follow through problem. It's like, Aram, I heard you talking, I think last week, about diet fatigue and chronic dieting. I'm like, no, you have a chronic lack of follow through fatigue.
Yeah.
And preparation. I mean, it's the everyday making decisions that gets tough. I mean, I find a pair of pants I like. I get a bunch of pairs of them.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to think. If I'm wearing sweats, I got the same sweats. If I'm wearing like pants that I'm going out or that can possibly also look dressy, I got the same pants, the same shirt. I wear the same stuff every day. And when people are not preparing their food, there's massive decision fatigue. So I think that's a huge problem when somebody's dieting is that they're not preparing things. They're not preparing. So that was one of your strategies, was prepare the next day, right?
Or they're trying to quantify meals out, which is so frustrating to do because it makes your fucking head. Like last night I had Russian food, takeout. I was supposed to go to the restaurant, but I decided to be a lazy fuck, get super high and get it delivered.
Right.
But like Russian, like how do you track stuffed cabbage with a sauce that you have no idea how much oil is in?
Well, if you can't track it, you might as well get deep fried wings and pizza.
And that's.
But at least with deep fried wings and pizza, I can go find Domino's in Chronometer and probably get something close.
If that's what so many people do, though. You know, I can't track it, so
fuck it.
That's exactly it, Jimmy. Like, well, I'm like, look, I tell my clients, I'm like, look, if you go to a non-chain restaurant, you could at least plug something in my fitness stuff.
Yes.
Even if it's 1,000 calories off, it's better than, to your point, Jimmy, it's better than say, well, fuck it, I don't know what's in any of this shit, so I'm just going to order the most calorically dense, hyper-palatable thing I can possibly get my hands on and eat it.
Yeah.
Or at least I like making, like, I'll track what I ate yesterday, today, just to have the completeness of continuing that habit of getting something into the log, because that builds another habit. It's just, I'm not going to forgo this process. I like being a part of this process. And Chronometer actually rewards you with they give you like a streak. Have you seen that thing?
I was going to say, yeah.
Streak of how many days track.
Yeah, when you said that, I was thinking about the streak. You love seeing that 187-day streak.
Yeah, I just like having the streak because to me, it's no different than having my whiteboard and having a green check for my workout and a black check for my macros getting hit or a red X for neither. I like that visual because it allows me to then be able to be very honest. Okay, I can look back on the 31 days of December and correlate what's happening visually and how I feel on the inside versus what actually occurred as far as habits. But a lot of folks, like you said, man, like they're coming at us with a chaotic schedule. There's no thought process behind what and when they're going to eat. The thought of preparing food seems so restrictive to them because there's no curiosity, no skill set built into it. Like I think we all can eat the same thing every day, but as long as we're flavoring it slightly differently, it's not going to be restrictive. And most of us are probably going to go out to eat at least once a week. Yeah, which if you go out 4 times a month, that should not fuck you up.
It should not fuck you up at all. No, and that's what I try to, like, I give all of my clients a meal plan. It took me like 2 years to develop. Like I started at like 110 pounds and like went up in 10-pound increments. I made like 50 of these meal plans. They're perfect. They're spot on. All the macros are perfect. I got food substitution options. I give people that because a lot of times when people hire people like us, they're expecting a meal plan. So I give that to them. I say, look, there it is, but I would really prefer that you never fucking use that thing. I want to teach you how to eat. And it's so simple. It's like, look, build your diet around 10 to 12 total foods, 4 protein sources, 4 carb sources, maybe 2 fat sources. From those 10 to 12 total foods, create a handful of go-to meals, 2 breakfast options, and then like 3 lunch/dinner options. And it's just, and you keep and put those meals on basically autopilot. If you get sick of something, sub in a new protein source, sub a new carb source, and then a shit ton of low and no cal condiments and a ton of spices and rubs. That's where you're going to get all the variety and prevent the I'm bored with my food thing. It's really, and every time you eat, it's what's my protein source? You start there, you quantify it, you plug it in, you weigh it on it, you weigh or measure it or scan a barcode on it, adjust the amount. What's my carb source? Move on. What's my fat source? What am I going to season this with? What add-on or condiment am I going to use on it? That's the whole process. Every time you eat, it's that simple. Yeah. Like you guys probably the same way. I might have 10 minutes a day wrapped up in quantifying what I eat at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's less, and I log as I go just because I work from home and it's easier for me.
Well, even when people are saying like it's too much time, like weighing everything. I just said this the other day to somebody. Again, you take the food and put it on a plate, right? Like, yeah, what if the plate's on the scale?
That's too much time, Jim.
It takes,
but then you have to put the plate on the scale and press a button.
I gotta tear it out.
And you got to look at your phone too.
That's the part. That's the extra part. That people are doing that, but then as they do get used to, if they are eating similar foods, you go to yesterday, copy to today. You go to yesterday, copy to today.
Type in one letter of the food and it pops up, and you just.
And like you said, it's not even the same 10 to 12 foods if you're looking at. There's a ton of different vegetables. There's a ton of different fruit. There's a ton of different berries. There's a bunch of different meat. I mean, red, white, seafood. There's 3, but then there's still varieties within that. Yep. So people, they get stuck, I think, when they do start thinking about dieting, only eating chicken, only eating broccoli. And it's like, I get so bored of it. Well, just pick any vegetable. Pick any protein source.
This doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, that's why I tell people, I'm like, look, I'm going to give you, you want this meal plan, there it is. It's in your coaching section. You can go find it. I said, but trying to eat off a spreadsheet and the same thing every day is not conducive to a normal adult life.
Well, that's why I have a problem with bodybuilding, because bodybuilders are robots, and I know so many bodybuilders. I mean, high-level competitive bodybuilders, no doubt, are good eaters. But if you look at like your I'm trying to be a bodybuilder, and you ask them what they're eating, they have no clue because their coach just delivers them a piece of paper. They have no idea how many macros it is. They have no idea why the ingredients are being chosen for them. So there's no autonomy and there's no education, and I have no problem building meal plans either. It takes me 35 fucking minutes to do it on chronometer and just based on their height, weight, and age, whatever. But what's the likelihood that you're going to be able to follow that thing every single day, mechanically, robotically, and then does that start to build a level of rebellion against it? And that's where, because nobody wants to consider the psychology behind this stuff. And I think what you've done a really good job is you're direct, but you're also empathetic, and you also do consider human psychology, because we have to understand that people are not us. They don't prioritize nutrition and training as one of their top 4 pillars of their everyday life. They do want to be able to have more flexibility and have more fuck around time than they should have to be able to get the physique that they're looking for. And at the end of the day, they're kidding themselves when they say it's not about physique, because that's really all it's about for most people.
You know what was eye-opening to me is I started personal training an older couple that lives in my community here. It's an apartment community.
Oh. I'm just kidding.
Sometimes, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But what I did, and they needed some serious help nutritionally, it was eye-opening to me. I went up to this couple's apartment and spent, first of all, I said, go to the store. I want you to buy, I said 10 to 12 foods, pick 4, pick 2. They did that. I went up there and spent probably an hour with them and just showed them, okay, we're going to take your deli turkey out. We're going to put it on the food scale. I walked them step by step. Okay, we're going to scan the barcode on this tortilla. And they were like blown away. And I got through to those people and set them up for more success in 1 hour live, just walking them through that, than a lot of my online clients.
You should have. That'd be awesome if you had that videotaped, and then that could be a resource to all new clients.
I'm going to do it. That's exactly what I'm going to do. But honestly, guys, I think you'd agree. A lot of people need that because people have no fucking idea what they're doing.
And it was funny because somebody commented on my post from today and said it's really hard to understand when people really don't want to understand. And I was like, that's a great point.
That's great.
And as you're saying that, you can explain it 1,000 times. You're going to take it out. I don't understand. They don't want to understand. No. You know, we've said it so many times before. It's like you have to look at all this stuff with a high level of curiosity. You have to look at, hey, I want to see how this type of training makes me feel. Maybe I do ease up on all this Fit Body Boot Camp stuff and these HIIT classes and slow things down and see how I feel. Take it as an experiment versus the first time I didn't do a workout like that. I didn't feel like that was a good workout, and then go right back to those old ways. This was too much trying to track and put it in. The exact thing didn't show up right away. When I tried to scan it, it said this item doesn't exist. This is too much. This is too much. So it is, people have to go into it with a certain level of curiosity. That's awesome that you did that, and it'd be great to be able to do that with everybody.
I'm always on the fence because I've been kind of on this journey of like creating as many resources as possible.
They don't look at them,
and then I have to question. I'm like, how many fucking people are just not, like I created a Google Drive with all the movement demos that I have. I'm actually in the middle of creating a range of motion failure standard sheet on every movement that I could possibly think of that really literally outlines what you should be feeling and when you should stop.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about myself. I'm like, I'm putting all this time and effort. I'm going to put these documents out into the world. I could easily sell all these PDFs for $99 a month, which I will absolutely do because why the fuck not? If the intellectual property's there, let me monetize it. And then I know that 99% of the time I'm still going to get the question or the video of somebody training, and it's going to be still dog shit, not trained to failure, still asking me questions about range of motion because these documents are just not going to get open. So the more meal plans we write and the more resources we give people and the more human element we take out of this interaction, the more reliant people are still going to be on bullshit.
Yep.
So in my opinion, the way that you coach and the way you get through to somebody is by having these conversations and challenging them to think outside the box and do the fucking work.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, unless in terms of training, there's no substitute for working with a trainer in person if you want to learn how to train correctly. Because it frustrates the hell out of me. Like I write on my app. I write their programs and there's video demos and I have the most detailed notes and descriptions of this is how you warm up for a work set. You're going to do your heaviest set first, and it should be within a rep of failure. And if you did it correctly, you should see a rep drop off using the same weight on the second set, or you should have to use less weight to get the same reps as you did on the first set. What do I see in their fucking training laws? Is I see it all in live time when they're in 100 by 10, 100 by 10, 100 by 10. Next week, 100 by 10. 100, and I message them. I'm like, did you read the workout or section or program notes? Yeah, I glanced over. I'm like, that is ineffective training. I'm like, that is absolutely ineffective training. But me in person, I've probably supervised 50,000 personal training sessions in my life. That's not a lie. I can get somebody in the gym and show them, okay, every rep should look the same. Okay, now we're on rep 8. Now the only thing that's changing is the lifting speed is starting to slow down. But the eccentric should be perfect still. The pause should still be there. Your body alignment should be the same. Oh, good, you're grimacing. See, that's what it should feel like, Jane. That right there, that set right there, that was an effective set. Those last 3 reps are the ones that actually did something for you. Oh, I never knew this before. I'm like, yeah, Jane, next time you're at the gym, watch people. They're doing 10 rep sets with 20 rep weights.
Yeah, and people think, I was thinking about today doing my lift, man. It sucks getting better at lifting. It's like people think, oh, it must be nice, or you're into it, you're on a regular basis. You know what it's like when you got to pick up that 120-pound dumbbell? It's like, it's fucking heavy.
In the position on
it's like, it never gets easier. But people think that it does. And as I'm getting older, I was like, I don't want to go in and work out, but I do want the result. And that goes back to Aram earlier saying the word motivation. I love what Jeb was saying about motivation.
Yeah.
Don't confuse motivation and inspiration.
Yeah, I like
you
that.
have the motivation. And I think reminding yourself that you have the motivation is so important. What is your motivation? You reached out to somebody in the first place. You joined the gym in the first place. Your motivation is your why. And you have to always remind, no, I am motivated. I want this result. I might just not feel inspired right now. So even sometimes that little language that we say to ourselves can make a difference of you showing up or not.
Yeah, I love that post from him. And I go out of my way, like I got
defensive at first.
Right. I go out of my way. Like I have a couple women right now who've been with me about 3 months. They've been crushing it. My sister's one of them. I'm coaching my sister, which has been a lot of fun. But I go out and they're all excited. I go out of my way and say, look, you're at about that point now, at that 3 month point. I said, this shiny red ball is not going to be very red and shiny for much longer. And the rest of this, the work you have left to do, it's going to be done in the absence of call it inspiration or motivation. Most of this stuff is done in the absence of motivation.
Yeah,
it just is. But why do we continue to do it? Because we see a massive return on investment, and we know that it's an anchor in our life that allows us to do our business well, our kids and families well.
Just mentally. Yeah, like when I'm not training with adequate intensity. I mean, again, I'm not trying to be anything amazing at this point in my life, but just with that, when there's not a certain amount of intensity, my mood drops. It's just 100%. You feel it, when you're firing on all cylinders with things, and you have those just one moment of pushing yourself hard in the gym can cause you to be flying high the rest of the day. It can cause you to make better decisions with the food that you eat, because you're like, dang, I was really good with things yesterday. I slept well, I ate well, and my workout was better today. I want this feeling again. It's not always just about how your body looks. It's just that feeling that you can get when you push yourself.
I love that feeling when you're about, you don't necessarily want to train that day, but you get about 3 or 4 sets into the workout, and then you're in a rhythm, and then you get towards the end, like, I don't want this to end. Like, that's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
I love my training now more than ever, largely because I've really adopted longer rest periods between sets.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. And I keep my rest between like 5 and 8. I love it.
It's wild too when you're actually eating enough. Like, I'm consciously eating more carbs now than ever. And when I work out in the afternoon, it is such a difference than back when I was working out in the morning. It's like you feel that pump. You feel the effects of those calories and those carbohydrates when you're pushing yourself to failure multiple sets. So it makes you enjoy those foods more. It makes you enjoy the workout more. But like my workout this morning, I wasn't feeling it like I am when I'm working out in the afternoon, because I already got 2-3 meals under my belt.
Yeah.
So even those things that do take time for people to figure out, is worth it. Be curious, take the time. I see a big issue with people, and you referenced it before, PJ, with their identity. And I know we're coming towards the end, but I want to see it. Does that conversation ever come up, or do you see clients where their identities may be changed, or what do you see is the best strategy to even get that identity to change? Is it just the accountability and forcing them to show up for a certain period of time?
It's investing in that person as the coach to keep drilling that into them. And a lot of coaches are just lazy and they're not going to do that. It's going the extra mile. I tell people, look, I can be accountable to you, but not for you. But if I see that you're trying, I'm going to go out of my way to try to get you from, I try to take people from education to identity. Now, a lot of people get 30% into that and they fall off and you never hear from them again. But 3 out of 10 people I work with, I do get into that point. But it's giving them what they're paying you for. And a lot of coaches are not doing that. People don't need macro mechanics anymore. We don't need more meal plans. We don't need another training split. It's that mindset stuff. It's staying on top of them. It's showing that you're invested, that you don't want to disappoint them. Therefore, they won't want to disappoint you. And the hope is, if they don't want to disappoint you and they're invested, they will get to that point of autonomy. They're like, I love the way I look and feel. I would never want to go back to what I was doing before.
Yeah.
And that's.
Have you guys seen people come to you and talk about how they've lost friends or have had major family issues because of this whole lifestyle change?
Nothing pisses me off more than when I hear about unsupportive spouse. I have to cook. He's complaining. They don't want to eat what I want to eat. I'm like, look, man. I know in my house, I cook my own shit. I will cook for my girlfriend. I have no problem doing that. And I cook both of the stepkids whatever they want. And my 17-year-old is I've created a monster. He tracks all of his macros. He trains like a fucking animal. I love it. But I cook 4 different meals. If you keep your meal plan designed like what I talked about earlier, simple. If it takes you more than 10 to 20 minutes to prepare and quantify and track a meal for yourself, you're way overcomplicating this shit. So when I hear people talk about, nobody wants to eat what I eat, I'm like, look, man, you need to get the idea of these fun, family, healthy recipes that everybody's going to love out of your head, because they're not. They can eat whatever the fuck they want. Your husband's a grown-ass adult. He knows how to boil water or use a microwave. If he doesn't want to eat what you eat, tell him to cook for him.
That's a great point that you just brought up, because you see this a lot where the spouse isn't supportive. And then eventually they don't want to continue to make separate meals. And that might be a great way to tell the client, hey, listen, you have to have that conversation with your spouse. If they're not willing to be supportive of these meals and eat what you're eating, especially at this family dinner time, then you don't want to be supportive. You can make your own meal.
Exactly.
To have that hard conversation.
And where else is that breakdown in communication occurring? I would imagine that's
multiple places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So examine the strength of your communication skills in your relationship. You shouldn't have to convince your other half that you're trying to do this for yourself and for the betterment of the family unit.
I told a woman just last week, same issue. She's like, my husband's being a dick. He's, you change. We can't go out to eat and drink like we used to. And I said, look, Susie, it's not like you're asking your husband to support you smoking meth. You're asking him to support you in eating nutritiously and working out more. And if your spouse doesn't want to support you in that, I'm sorry, you might want to go get a fucking divorce. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If he's that, and it's all a place of insecurity.
Yeah.
Because
it's a mirror. They're looking at a mirror of the things they should be doing themselves, but they don't want to do it. I've had multiple people through the course of
down with them.
Right. It's misery loves company, and if I'm going to feel like shit, so the fuck are you, and we can feel like shit together. I mean, I've had multiple people that I've worked with. I mean, I've had people that are with me for 3 years, and I've had people that left relationships, got into new ones, had divorces, had to get custody of their kids from their other half because the household that they were in with their other half was bad. So much transformation has occurred with people that have actually bought into this lifestyle, and they start to outgrow these old limiting beliefs and these old limiting people, because the environment that you're in 100% will either support you or be able to be much more of a challenge for you.
The whole thing of you've changed. That's the point.
That's the point.
You've changed. Why haven't you?
Yeah, why haven't
you? Haven't changed since you were 22?
Right.
That
describes everybody I went to high school with that I still talk to on the same fucking group thread with the same bullshit, still talking about the glory days.
That Pearl Jam song is, I change by not changing at all.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it's like, that's how it is.
Yeah.
So can I hit on one thing before we get, I know we got to go.
Absolutely.
Please.
I've had 4 people in the last couple of weeks, all women, all contact me for coaching, and tell me if you guys get any of this. All 4 of them had the same story. They were working with a coach, and these are women who are high BMIs, high body fat percentage, and every one of these coaches told them they weren't allowed to be in fat loss and they needed to reverse diet first to get into fat loss. This is driving me fucking mad.
It's because it's their hormones.
Yeah, if you do a long fat loss phase and you want to do a reverse diet, whatever, great. I personally don't think that's necessary either. But to tell somebody who isn't really lean and who hasn't already gone through a long diet that, well, you need to eat more first before you... It would be like somebody in massive debt who has no money invested or saved.
Spend more.
Going to a financial advisor, and the financial advisor tells them, hey, look, before we can start saving money and investing, what we need to do first is spend a little bit more money, because the reason you haven't been able
to spend money to make money, PJ. You don't know finance, clearly.
But
that's business. That's not personal finance. That's business. That makes sense.
Coaches like that are what gives our industry a bad rap.
Yeah,
One
they're
of-
all
one of the reasons.
like a year behind on things that first start coming out, and they don't understand. I saw a guy talk about this about the DSM, which is like the
Yeah.
diagnostic
Doctor.
Yep.
manual, and how all these people are calling him like a DSM, whatever the word, absolutist type of a thing. And he went on to explain how you can't understand the nuance of things unless you understand like the actual clinical definition of something.
Yeah.
I'm not a DSM absolutist, and it's that kind of stuff that you just brought up. There's a lot of people I feel like they understand the nuance without understanding the actual science behind it. So they hear something new and they jump on it and they say things like that. And when
Yep.
you can't explain it as to why you're doing it, in a way, it's a problem. Is there a reason maybe somebody would want somebody to start at maintenance calories tracking? Sure. Let's
Sure.
see if you could even
Oh,
track
sure.
for the reason of. Let's see if you're willing to trust. I want to go through this process and explain it in that way versus you have to do this in order to lose weight because your metabolism is broken. Then you sound smart, but you don't know shit.
We're just going to reignite that metabolic fire. We're going to stoke that metabolic fire. I used to say that shit all.
Oh, yeah.
And now I look
Yeah.
at it and it makes me fucking ill, and I just want to just strangle every one of these new macro coaches.
I'm like, you're 5'6", 195. Do you really think the reason you haven't been able to lose fat is because you haven't been eating enough?
I do. I think it is.
0.17% of that population, maybe, if their fucking insulin resistance is measurably through the roof, if their hormonal structure is completely destroyed and degraded. But that blood work will solve both of those problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
but
It'll at least-
now
it'll at least
we know the
illuminate it.
average. Unfortunately, you have your doctor reading it instead of somebody who knows what they're doing, and you're within normal range, so therefore everything's fine.
I've recommended Ozempic to some of my clients.
Oh, I have 3
I'm like,
people
listen.
on it.
I'm like, listen, we've tried everything. We've dropped calories, we've increased calories, we've upped carbs, we've upped fats, we've done this, we've done that. Your body's not responding to shit. Maybe it isn't a hormonal insulin resistance issue. Maybe you should get on Ozempic for 3 to 6 months to rebalance the playing field, and we'll see what happens. Because at that point, I can't keep you dieting. I can't keep reversing you because your body can't fucking handle it because you just keep putting on fat. But most of the time, if you start to really look under the hood, like one specific person I'm thinking of, 6,000 step a day average, maybe 2 to 3 workouts a week suboptimally, and then a lot of fuckery on the weekends with a lot of stress and shitty sleep, so poor circadian rhythm. These are the reasons. Like, I bet if that person was able to get from a 5,000 step average to a 12,000 step average, maybe we'd start seeing some fucking movement on the scale.
That's my whole thing about, like, this whole it's your hormones thing. I'm like, look, we all have the ability to go to a good endocrinologist or go to a TRT or HRT clinic and get our hormones optimized. So if it was just a matter of that's all it took, everybody would be really lean. If you do that and your habits don't change, and I see these guys at my testosterone clinic. It's the same group of fucking dudes for the last 5 years on Saturday morning. We all go there at the same time, and none of them fucking look any better. But their test is all 1,000.
Yeah.
It's their habits.
Even that people are so unaware of. They're so unaware that they think they're going to get on testosterone, and all of a sudden, wait, your appetite's going to go up, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have these habits, you're not going to feel anything. Maybe you have less mood swings. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else is going to change.
That's my thing. Okay, if it's your hormones, then go get your hormones. Take exogenous medications or injections and get your hormones optimized, and continue to do shit and see what happens with your body composition. Nothing is going to. So don't tell me it's hormones greater than habits. It's fucking the reverse.
I like when he gets fired up. Are you turned
Me
on
too.
too, Aram?
I'm sorry.
I got movement. I
haven't been hard in 72 hours, and I just finally got hard today.
Good.
So thank you, PJ. Well, I can't wait
love
to
it.
see
Yeah,
you. I can't wait to see you in March.
Me neither. I just booked my flight and got the room yesterday, or Christmas Day I did.
What day you flying
nice.
out?
Sunday. Get there Sunday, and then.
Oh, I figured Wednesday.
I gotta tell you, Aram. Yeah. I literally, your event is like, and I'm speaking to any coach listening to this. Between the ticket, my flight, the room, the discounted room rate, and the fact that every meal and happy hours are taken care of, I think I'm going to come out of this whole thing at maybe $1,100.
That's
Yeah,
that's what my estimate was.
Try to go like that's incredible.
Yeah, there's not time to spend money. That's
No,
the
I mean,
only conference
yeah.
you can go to with $0, and there's not time. I mean, the thing goes to what, 10 o'clock at night, basically?
Staying home.
Basically every day.
Yeah,
I would spend more
Yeah.
money staying home probably.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
You definitely
food
would
alone.
spend more money if you went to a conference like in Texas or something.
Yeah.
If you went to like a conference in Texas, in Austin
Yeah.
specifically, you'd probably spend more.
Probably spend more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
This
going to be
is-
that too, but I'll probably end up. I think we'll all end up being liberal with buying each other drinks in the after on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
There you go. But no, I just wanted to give you props, man. 'cause
Thank you. I appreciate that.
that's-
And I
that-
appreciate you laying out that financial like piece.
I
of
did.
it.
I did. When I booked the flight and saw the room rate, I'm like, this is like unheard
How much
of.
was your flight?
I'm flying like friggin' Delta nonstop for $190.
Yeah, I mean that's why I picked Vegas. People are like, "Why do you want to do Vegas?" I'm like, "Because it's easy to get to and the rooms are cheap."
Yeah.
Go anywhere
Yeah.
else in the country, you go to fucking Orlando, and the rooms
Dude,
are $500 a night, and the
was
flights
Austin
are
was
$700.
Austin was $400 a night
Yeah,
for the
and
hotel if you
well,
stayed on site.
Yep.
I get lucky with Texas because I'm Southwest, but like if you're on the East Coast, just anywhere has direct flights to Vegas. I mean,
Yeah.
you could be in fucking
yeah.
Charlottesville, North Carolina, and you're getting direct to Vegas.
Yeah, I got
somehow.
3 airlines in Cincinnati to fly to Vegas. So
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
I can't wait, man. The lineup looks incredible. I'm stoked.
Well, I think specifically you will have fun with Jason Brown.
I don't know him.
Jason's got a lot of good. He's a programming guy. He talks about that 6-12-25 conjugate system,
Yeah.
which actually is very cool. I started implementing some of that into my training. It makes things real challenging and really fun.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, thanks, PJ, man. You're
Thank you, guys.
always good to have you on. I'm so happy that you finally did this, and I'm so happy we were able to chop it up and finally meet in person.
Yeah.
And we get to be degenerates again in 3 months.
Yeah, and
and leaner degenerates as well.
correct. And thanks again for putting me on after Aragon and Ferrugia.
Of course.
Yeah.
And as
Yeah.
well.
Fuckers.
Yeah. Absolutely. Our pleasure. Till next time.
Bye.